Greetings from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Welcome back to the Crow's Nest on this beautiful but yet very windy spring day. The birds are chirping, the clouds are the sky is gorgeous, as you can see. It almost looks fake back there, doesn't it? I am enjoying my Bethlehem olive wood with the shotgun shell made by Olive Wood Piper. Little pot shape. And in it, thank you Father Brian, by the way, for this. Ken Byron Adventures Burly Morning Pipe. Thank you Father Brian Potter Piper. He spoiled me with 3 different blends from him, and I'm very excited to try them all because I've never had any of his stuff. So now you have to say, well, Sean, is there any reviews coming in the near future of these? You betcha. I just want to get a little familiar with each of them, and I'm going to focus on this one right now. And I have to say, I first thought, oh, it's going to be like the Dunhill early morning pipe, and that was just, to me, that's just air. It's just very dull, minute flavors, and it's just, they're hard to find, and I just don't care for the blend. Peterson did do a spot-on match pretty much. However, it still just doesn't appeal to me. So I was kind of a little hesitant on this one, but the bag note is terrific. So South Alabama Piper did a very interesting video the other day, and I watched it and I commented on it, and he told me to go for it. He'd like to hear my view on it. And the subject is respect. Yes. I like the sound of this one. It, to me, respect means a lot of things. Now, growing up with, around my daddy's family, for the most part, they always taught me that respect is something you earn, not something you're given. Just because I'm their nephew doesn't mean they're gonna give me their respect. I have to earn it. I have to work hard. I have to respect my elders, open doors for ladies, tip my hat for people, for women, wave to people if you're in the car and they wave to you first. Appreciate those that have given us what we have today in the military. Which is very true. I mean, look how we treated the folks that came back from Vietnam. A lot of them changed in bathrooms at the airports and put their regular clothes on and shoved their uniforms in their bags because of the way people were treating them. And that's just not the way it should be. I mean, I once saw an interview with somebody, and they said that, what is war? And the guy who was interviewing, the interviewee asked the interviewer, what is war? And the interviewer kind of was like, well, it's, people fighting over this or that, rights or countries or disagreements, over land or whatever it may be. I forget exactly how he said it. And the interviewee says, nope, war is a product of politicians not doing their job. I found that extremely interesting. Because he's right. It's their job to make sure that the countries get along so there is no war, because nobody really ever wins. There's death on both sides. Innocent people and soldiers. And let's be honest, every one of those, no matter where they're from, is somebody's son or daughter. So why are we doing this? It's ridiculous. So I thought that was really interesting, but you know, you stand for the national anthem. I remember going in and to the army base here and playing golf, and you were supposed to only be military, but seeing that my family has served so much time, and that two of my uncles were still working on the barracks, I was able to golf there. One of them worked at the actual driving range there right off the course. So one day I went down there and I was golfing and went to pay to go golf, so I paid, and it was only me, so I got paired up with some other people. There was a group of 2 that needed 2 more, so they just added me to that party. They asked them and they were okay with it, so I got added on. Well, they were both pretty high ranked. And they asked me what my rank was, and I told them, I said, well, sir, I'm not serving in the military. I said, my name is, Sean Safor, and my uncles served, and my daddy served, and my uncles work here. And they're like, oh, you're so-and-so's boy or nephew. I was like, yeah, I'm their nephew. He's like, oh, okay. So we were playing. And it was always, Sergeant, it's your turn. Yes, sir. No, sir. Sir, would you like me to drive the cart? And it irritated him after about 3 holes. He was like, look, big old cigar in his mouth. He says, I hear that all the time. Would you please just call me by my name? And I looked at him and I said, sir, with the utmost respect, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. That is not how I was raised. And if it ever got back to my uncles that I called you by your first name, it would not be very good for me. That's not how I was raised, and that's just not what I do. And he said, okay. So that's how that went for the day. And it was fun. I got to play with them, and they bought me food at the turn after 9. They bought lunch. It was like we each got a hot dog, I think, and I got a pop, and he got a beer. Then when we were done, they ate dinner, and they invited me to eat supper with them there at the golf course. So I got to eat dinner with them, which was very, very nice. And out of respect, I didn't order anything extravagant. He told me that there was no rules to the menu, and I still didn't order the cheapest because I didn't want to insult him. So I went mid-card on the menu, got a good meal out of it. And when I was done, I shook their hands and I thanked them for their service, and I thanked them for allowing me to be a part of their day and for everything that they gave me that day. And that was that. A couple weeks later, I go in to hit some balls, and my Uncle Marlon said, so I hear you played with a couple people the other week. Yes, sir. He says, one of them came in to hit some balls the other day. I was like, Oh. I said, yeah. He said, they had nothing but good things to say about you. I said, well, that's good. He said, yes, it is. He says, that's what we expect. I said, okay. I was also constantly reminded that I was told, we didn't give you much, but we gave you your last name. Don't run it through the dirt. That was another thing that was told to me quite often. So we don't want to see you on the news or your name in the newspaper for something bad. And knock on wood, they didn't. So they're all gone now. All my uncles are gone now. My daddy came from a family of 14 boys and 2 girls. And there's only one left. My Aunt Teddy. Thieta is her name. And I'm sorry, my Aunt Toots is left. My Aunt Toots is left. And her real name is Thieta. But I was always raised to respect my elders, open doors, yes sir, no sir, please, thank you, no matter where you were. And even with my mom growing up, it was always please and thank you. You know, you learned very quickly that, you know, you didn't, you weren't owed anything. So, at 13 years old, I went to work on a chicken farm. I was making $3.50 an hour to start. And as soon as I got my money, my paycheck, I would take it home and give it to my mom and say, here, use it for the bills or whatever you want. It wasn't much, obviously, but it was what it was. And I certainly tried to do my part. Losing my daddy at such a young age, you know, I didn't really have much of a choice. I had to help out. For those of you that do not know, my daddy passed away when I was 7 years old. So, growing up, my uncles were all looking out after me, and I'm thankful for each and every one of them, and I'm thankful for everything that they ever taught me. And I'd like to think that it helped mold me into the man that I am today. Good, bad, or indifferent. And I miss them. I miss them. Especially a couple of them, because my relationships seem to have gotten better with age. They were not very personable people. They were pretty hardcore. Most of them, well, all of them actually retired from the military. They all did 20 plus years, except for my dad. My dad was medically discharged because of his diabetes. And other than that, they all did their 20 or 25, so. But yep, that's what that's a little bit of how I look at respect. And I remember being on the base a couple of times when either the flag's going up or the flag's coming down. And if you're there and you hear that horn, that trumpet and stuff playing, you stop. You find a flag and you put your hand on your heart. If you don't see a flag, you stop and you put your hand on your heart and you put your head down. You know, you just kind of reflect for a minute or two of what those have done for us and then are doing for us to have what we have today. And, you know, that's just something that I was taught, and it was ingrained in me at a very young age. And I'm that way to this day. And that's one thing I've always said, that, you know, I was teasing a couple of my friends a little while back, and I said, if I ever get arrested, I said, it'll probably only be for one reason. And that'll be seeing somebody stomping or wiping their feet on our flag, and me snatching the flag out of their hands and going at them. So, but if does happen and they cuff me, the only thing I ask in return is that they lay the flag over my arms when they cuff me and put me in the car, because I'm taking the flag with me. Hopefully that don't happen. Well, we're 15 minutes in. I can't believe it. It's been a pretty long stretch here. So far, it's a good blend. We'll see. We'll keep smoking it, and I'll get back to you guys with a review. So until we can get together and pack a pipe or smoke that great cigar, let all that you do be done in love. Y'all take care and God bless.